One brutal comment online can sometimes spark a massive conversation. And recently, that's exactly what happened to Kendra Wilkinson. The former reality star suddenly found herself trending again, not because of a new show or major announcement, but because critics on social media claimed she was aging poorly. The comments spread quickly. Screenshots circulated. People debated her appearance across multiple platforms. But instead of ignoring the negativity, Kendra decided to respond directly, and what she said caught a lot of people off guard. Because her reaction wasn't defensive, it was surprisingly honest. But to understand why this moment resonated with so many people, you have to rewind to where her fame first began. Long before social media dominated celebrity culture, Kendra Wilkinson became a household name through the hit reality series The Girls Next Door. The show gave viewers a rare look inside the glamorous and controversial world of the Playboy Mansion. At the center of it all was magazine mogul Hugh Hefner and the women who lived there. Kendra quickly stood out from the rest of the cast. Her outgoing personality, humor, and carefree attitude made her one of the most recognizable stars of the series. Millions of viewers followed her life week after week. Interviews, red carpets, magazine covers, suddenly she was everywhere. But reality TV fame moves fast. And life inside the spotlight doesn't always stay glamorous forever. Because once the cameras stopped focusing on the mansion, Kendra's life began taking a very different direction. Leaving the Playboy world behind was a huge turning point. Kendra began building a life outside of that environment, eventually launching her own reality series and exploring new career paths. One of those projects was Kendra on Top, which documented her life as she navigated marriage, motherhood, and fame. For a while, things seemed to be moving in a positive direction. She married former NFL player Hank Baskett, and the couple started a family together. But living life in front of the public can make even personal struggles feel like global headlines. And unfortunately, those struggles eventually became impossible to hide. Over the years, Kendra has spoken openly about the challenges she faced after leaving the mansion lifestyle behind. Her marriage went through highly publicized difficulties. Eventually, she and Hank Baskett separated and finalized their divorce. For someone who had spent years in the spotlight, the emotional toll was intense. Interviews and reality shows documented parts of the journey, but much of the healing happened away from cameras. During that time, Kendra focused heavily on rebuilding her life. She shifted her career toward real estate, began raising her children largely outside the Hollywood spotlight, and tried to create a more grounded lifestyle. But despite stepping back from the constant glare of celebrity culture, the internet never completely stopped watching. And recently, that attention turned critical. Social media users began commenting on her appearance, claiming she didn't look the way they remembered from her early reality TV days. Some critics bluntly said she was aging poorly. The comments quickly spread across platforms, with people debating her looks and comparing old photos to recent ones. Unfortunately, this type of scrutiny isn't unusual for women in the entertainment industry. Female celebrities often face intense pressure to maintain the same appearance they had decades earlier, an impossible expectation for anyone. But instead of ignoring the criticism or quietly deleting comments, Kendra chose to address it. And that decision shifted the entire conversation. When Kendra responded, her message was refreshingly straightforward. She explained that she had been focused on raising her kids, working on her career, and prioritizing her mental health. Life, she said, had been full of challenges, growth, and personal changes. In other words, she's been living a real life. Her response also carried a deeper message. Aging is a natural part of life, even for people who once lived in the spotlight. She didn't pretend everything had been easy. In fact, she acknowledged the ups and downs she'd experienced over the years. And for many fans, that honesty made her response even more powerful. Because instead of chasing unrealistic beauty standards, she seemed comfortable being exactly where she is now. But the internet had more to say. Almost immediately, fans began flooding her comment sections with supportive messages. Many people praised her for refusing to hide from criticism, and for speaking honestly about the realities of getting older. Others pointed out how unfair the comments were in the first place. After all, Kendra first appeared on television nearly 2 decades ago. Expecting someone to look exactly the same after that amount of time simply isn't realistic. Some fans also highlighted something bigger happening online: the relentless pressure placed on women in entertainment to remain permanently youthful. And that pressure often creates a lose-lose situation. If celebrities age naturally, critics complain. If they turn to cosmetic procedures, critics complain about that too. Which raises a bigger question about how society views aging in the public eye. The reaction to Kendra's story quickly turned into a much broader conversation. Hollywood has long been criticized for placing unrealistic expectations on women, especially when it comes to appearance. Male celebrities often age publicly without the same level of scrutiny, but women frequently face intense commentary about every change in their looks. Social media has only amplified that pressure. Today, millions of people feel comfortable leaving harsh comments on public figures' pages, often forgetting there's a real person reading them. But moments like this also reveal something encouraging, because when the criticism started spreading, thousands of fans pushed back against it. And that support may be the most important part of the entire story. In the end, the viral comments about Kendra Wilkinson's appearance say less about her and more about the culture surrounding celebrity. She spent years living under an intense spotlight, navigating fame, personal struggles, motherhood, and career changes. And like everyone else, she's simply getting older. But instead of hiding from that reality, she addressed it openly, which might explain why so many people rallied behind her. Because sometimes the most powerful response to criticism isn't a perfect comeback. Sometimes it's simply being honest about who you are and refusing to apologize for it.